Wynand Jacobs from Family Life joins me. Kia ora, good morning.
Kia ora, Andrew. Always good to be here.
Now, I'm sure you can't relate to that. I mean, every Monday, hey, great to be back at work and all of those sorts of things. But it is the case that if we get out of practice doing something, that getting back into it can be a little bit tricky, right?
Well, the reality is our natural tendency is to move towards the things that sometimes actually cause destruction to us,
Yeah.
whether it's emotional, whether it's physical. I mean, let's be honest, the temptation to sit on the couch rather than go for a walk is real.
Yeah.
And
Especially in the
isn't that true?
weather, especially with the weather we've been having recently, doesn't help, right?
That's right. And isn't that true for all of us,
Mm.
right? But here's the interesting thing. And as I've been reflecting about this, all good things in our lives, all the things that we can often really feel proud about in terms of accomplishment, um, didn't didn't come about without effort.
Yeah.
And that this effort doesn't necessarily have to be a big effort all out front, but it's the consistent effort over time. And this thought that transformation only comes from consistently choosing the things that build rather than break.
Hmm.
I think this holds true not only for our physical condition, but also for our marriage, for our relationships, even in the way we parent. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night when I hear a cry from the other room,
Yeah.
not because I feel like it, but because I love.
Yeah.
And and but unfortunately, sometimes in marriage, I respond to my spouse not from a place of love, but actually from a place of how they're making me feel right now,
Mm. Yeah.
especially when I feel attacked or accused, which is so easy to happen in a relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
Yeah.
question maybe for you, Andrew, is when was the last time you felt like going for a jog?
Hasn't happened within living memory, Wynand.
Okay,
Honest answer.
fair enough. Now, second question to that is when was the last time after you have gone for a jog that you felt good afterwards?
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. Again, it's not a recent activity for me.
That's all right.
Perhaps the sports metaphor isn't landing, but I certainly know that if I get over myself, if I put my feelings to one side, and I do it anyway, just do it like the shoes tell us.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
actually I do feel better. It is something which you go that the feelings created a false impression. When I pushed beyond that, there were positive things on the other side.
That's right. And this is one of the things we really drill down to as well, drill down in at our weekends, is the fact that love ultimately is a choice,
Yeah.
not a feeling. And it's a choice to move towards our spouse, not only when we feel like it, but because we've committed to this pursuit of one another. We've committed to growing in oneness.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I've found this, sometimes I really just need to boss my feelings around a little bit because I may not feel like it, but if I do it anyway, guess what happens? The results the results are something that I really love.
Mm.
I love the results that I get from choosing to bring kindness when maybe I feel like my spouse doesn't deserve it,
Yeah.
for choosing to bring forgiveness,
Yeah.
maybe even before they have apologized. All these things lighten my load and it breathes life into our marriage, into our relationship. And I think a scripture that captures this quite well in the sense that um, you've got two ways of living, our old self and our new self.
Hmm.
Ephesians 2, verse 22 says, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self,
Hmm.
which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires." Now, maybe I can swap those words around with feelings,
Yep.
your desires, the
Yep.
things you want, okay? But it's deceitful. And it goes on to say, to be made new in the attitude of your minds.
Hmm.
Okay, we choose the attitude that we can respond with in our marriage. And then the last verse there is, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.
Yeah.
And so we've got this choice in marriage, all the time. Are we going to lean in to the thing that may feel like something I don't want to do right now?
Yep.
Or are we going to succumb to our feelings when our feelings don't always produce life and health and joy in our marriage?
Yeah. I mean, to a practical example in our household, I don't regularly feel like doing the dishes, but I do the dishes so that my wife doesn't have to. And if you get into a habit of that, if that becomes the default setting, my wife would argue about whether or not it's a habit of mine. But occasionally, my feelings, I can push them out of the way and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to serve my wife in this regard because I know that it will be a blessing to her. That if this is something we do regularly, like exercise, it kind of pushes our feelings out of the way, and we can build positive habits in that space until it becomes just the default setting, I suppose.
Yeah, and let's just be real here. To some of our listeners right now, if you've been married for more than 2 minutes, there are some issues that probably have not been dealt with in your marriage.
Yep.
And it's really easy to not deal with those things, to not have healthy conversations about those things, and then to not have feelings of warmth towards each other.
Yep.
So my encouragement to our listeners today, we talk about love and respect, men typically needing respect, the unconditional respect, and ladies typically needing unconditional love.
Yep.
And my encouragement would be, imagine you had all these feelings of love and respect towards your spouse. Imagine what you would be doing if you felt that way,
Yeah.
and then just do it anyway. And sometimes, and it's almost like the analogy of CPR, when somebody has been in an accident or something and they're lying there and they're not really breathing.
Yep.
You exercise CPR, which is these compressions on the lungs, and the lungs sort of get moving mechanically until a point where breathing kicks in.
Yep.
And so there's a mechanical kickstart leading to the breath. And this is my encouragement. Don't wait for your feelings, but how about do the things, and let's see if your feelings of love and compassion and kindness towards your spouse kicks in.
And love what you're saying beforehand, how our feelings tend to take us in the direction of selfishness and our own needs and desires, whereas we can make choices to move in the direction of loving and serving and building positive habits in that regard. Wynand, I'd appreciate the work that you and the team do at Family Life, familylife.nz, of course, for more information about events and lots of online resources available there as well. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.